In this video, I'm comparing the OnePlus Nord N10 5G and the Motorola Moto G Power 2021. And if you like videos about comparing smartphones, mid-range, low-end, flagships, all that good stuff, subscribe to the channel. I upload several times a week, even several times a day. So let's get into it and let's get started comparing these two bad boys. The OnePlus Nord N10 5G comes with a price tag of anywhere from $50 all the way to the full price of less than $300. The Motorola Moto G Power 2021, that one comes in at around $250 unlocked, but you could also get it for free to $50 to $100 on prepaid. So the real key here for both of these devices is the price in prepaid market. But other than that, both of these are below $500, $400 unlocked. So these are definitely some mid-range to low-end phones. The Nord N10 obviously has a leg up having 5G, but the Moto G Power, although it's only a 4G LTE device, its LTE is still relevant today. So the N10 has a overall size of 6.4 inches tall, 3 inches wide, 0.35 inches thick. The Moto G Power is 6.5 inches tall, 3 inches wide, 0.37 inches thick. The N10 is a little bit more lightweight at 6.7 ounces versus 7.3 ounces on the Motorola. Both of these have similar build qualities. They're both glass front with a plastic back, plastic frame. The display, the N10 has a 6.5 inch versus the 6.6 inch on the Moto G Power, but the N10 has that 90 hertz refresh rate versus the 60 hertz on the Motorola. So overall, better refresh rate has the N10 5G, which is not found on a lot of devices in this price range. Similar screen to body ratio, they're both around 84% screen to body ratio. Resolution, the N10 has a leg up, has a 1080p Full HD display with 406 ppi. Moto G Power 720 HD display at 266 ppi. So overall, better display is going to be the N10 5G. For the software, kind of similar. You have Android 10 and N10 with Oxygen OS, which is pretty much stock. Moto G Power, Android 10, also pretty much stock with Motorola software and gestures, such as chop for the flashlight, twist for the camera. Chipset, the N10 has a 690 5G processor from Qualcomm. It's a Snapdragon, and the Moto G Power has a Snapdragon 662 processor. Both these are very similar. They're right in the mid-range to low-budget sector of chipsets, and paired with Android 10 and a clean version of Android, these are going to be very sufficient in the processing department, and they'll run all your similar apps like YouTube. You could download games such as Dead Trigger or Grand Theft Auto, fun games that aren't too heavy intensive, but if you're running like a lot of graphic intensive games, they're not going to run too well on either of these devices with the processor. Those are or video editing for that matter, but most 99% of popular apps will run pretty good on these devices. For internal storage, the N10 comes with a healthy 128 gigs of storage, while the Moto G Power, depending which model you get, you can get either 32 or 64 gigs of storage. The N10 has 6 gigs of RAM, while the Moto G Power has either 3 or 4 gigs of RAM. So depending on where you get it, most of these are going to have the 64 gigs of storage with 4 gigs of RAM, which both of these amounts of RAM are good for most everyday tasks. So not a big deal. But both of these also have micro SD card slots, so storage is not an issue on these, but very impressed by the N10 5G having 128 gigs, so you don't really need a micro SD card. As for the cameras, both of these are average cameras. They won't blow you away, but the N10 has a 4-camera setup. 64 megapixel main camera, 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel depth, 2 megapixel macro. The Moto G Power, 3 cameras, 48 megapixel main, 2 megapixel macro, 2 megapixel depth. You can shoot 4K on the N10 5G, 1080p on the Moto G Power. Neither of these are going to blow you away, but if you are outside or have the right lighting, you'll take some pretty awesome pics and videos, but they're not anywhere near flagship level Samsung or iPhone quality. But you'll be overall satisfied. But if you are really into video and photography, neither of these phones will do you justice. Selfie camera, the N10 has a 16 megapixel shooter, while the Motorola has 8 megapixels and both shoot at 1080p. Pretty decent selfie cameras. Both of these have a headphone jack, which is awesome. Connect your headphones, your mic, or your aux cord for music. Both have Bluetooth 5.1 on the N10, 5.0 on the Power. Both of these will connect to your smartwatches, your smart bands, your wireless speakers, and your wireless headphones. But the N10 has a leg up on NFC, which is used for payment services, while the Moto G Power does not. And both of these have a USB Type-C port for charging. Moto G Power does have a FM radio. And for security and unlocking, both of these have fingerprint readers. You got a rear-mounted one on the N10, side-mounted one on the Moto G Powers. Both of these are reliable ways to open up your device. Last but not least is battery. N10 has a 4,300 milliamp battery. Moto G Power, 5,000 milliamp battery. Both of these are pretty good. They'll get you 1-2 days of battery life, but you'll go way farther with the Moto G Power. 5,000 milliamps is super good. So it has a leg up on the N10 5G. But the N10 5G has 30 watt fast charging, while you get 15 watt fast charging on the Moto G Power. But both of these will guarantee you at least 1 day of battery life. And at these prices, that's pretty good. So I gotta admit, after going through these specs, the overall winner is going to be the Nord N10 5G. But that's only if you get it at the price point of like $50 on prepaid for like Metro, for example. The Moto G Power has an advantage that it's available pretty much on every prepaid carrier. You can get it for free when you port it in, or $50 or $90 on Boost, for example. So it's pretty much found everywhere. And then the unlocked price is only $250. But I mean, the battery is really good on the Moto G Power, but the Nord N10 5G is just you're getting way more value, especially in the prepaid price. You got 5G, you got a 90 hertz refresh rate. You have a little bit more powerful processor. You have 128 gigs of storage. You can shoot 4K with the camera. And it's just, you got a little bit faster charging. So you're getting just way more value. And it's not to say that the Moto G Power is a terrible phone. Motorola makes quality products, but you're just getting way more things for just a little bit more in price. You know, if you spend the extra $50, you can get a lot more stuff on the N10 5G. It's still one of the overall better deals in wireless. But if you are offered the Moto G Power for free, for example, take it. It's still a really awesome phone. Both of these will do pretty much the exact same thing. YouTube, text messaging, WhatsApp, maps, all that stuff. You're not going to see too much in performance. If you do regular day-to-day activities, both of these will feel exactly the same, but you're getting a lot more value from the N10 5G. Well, guys, thanks for watching. If you like videos when comparing cell phone and specs, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.